Okay, so I hope everyone have enjoyed this Diwali festival. Now get us get back to our classes. Sumit, is it audible at your end?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
No. Okay, so we were discussing about the observation equation method, and in fact, we have reached to solving some of the problems. Anyways, uh, and still we have not given any assignment, but today, from today, once we discuss some issues, we'll provide you the assignments on observation equation method. But before, what we need to discuss that till up till now we have seen three steps, which is very important. Please focus, because if you know these three steps or consider these steps, understand these steps for solving any problem by observation equation. If it is written in your problem that solve these problem by observation equation method, then uh, probably you will find it out that it is very easy to solve if you know these three steps. And apart from this, what is more important for you to know at this point that uh, even if it is not written that you have to solve it from observation equation method and a problem is given, how to find out that whether this problem requires least square solution or not, how to pick that up, isn't it? Because many a times we do not have that state of mind to approach a problem by least square solutions, isn't it? Because we have not done in our past uh, btech education as well as in 11 12th also, we have only one approach to solve that problem, and in order to solve that problem our mind is trained in such a manner that it only gives you the equations that may fit in that problem. And once you reach to a certain equation that gives you the solution, immediately you stop thinking of other alternatives. And that happens quite a time. In fact, our discussion which we started for understanding the adjustment process, I gave you the triangle problem, isn't it? A big rock is there and a 2 points opposite to each other. You have to find out the average distance between these 2 points, and you immediately thought of only one rule. Oh, sine rule will not apply, we'll use the cos rule. And one of the students also replied, you didn't think that, oh my god, there are 10 ways, there are 10 possible combinations which would be used to get that same AB, isn't it? That was the case, if you quickly recall. And that happens quite a time that we do not think of all other or other possible equations which help us in finding out the possible x. And that's true, that's very true. The reason is very simple, because our mind is trained in such a manner that we only look for solution, and the moment we get the solution we do not think of other sources or other ways by which we could get the same x or not. In fact, we do not care about the cross verifying our answer. In this course, after reading this observation equation method, where you think that your first step is, if you see that your problem is in this manner, where you can write the function of parameters. How do you call it? Because it is very important. Xa I'm calling, but you need to understand how it is written. It is written as function of adjusted parameters is equal to adjusted observations. Because once you read, equality will only apply, as I've told you earlier also, equality will only apply when we have the so-called adjusted word written before it. If adjusted is not written, sorry, if adjusted is not written, that means fx is equal to L. That means this equality doesn't hold. You get my point? So first step is, first you see the problem, read the problem. Whether it is written or not, that this you have to solve from observation equation, immediately you think of the models. The first step, whether it could be the required problem can be reframed in such a model, that is your model, desired model. You will ask yourself, I'll give you again two three more problems today. The previous three problem which I have given you, as one student told, that it is we know the solution but we do not know how to approach it. That is the problem, and we need to avoid these problems by practicing more and more problems. Believe me, if you have this little mathematics in your pocket after your first year, you can solve n number of problems, and our students have proven, and students have shown that many challenging problems could have been easily solved by following these very simple approaches. Okay, anyways, so by reading the problem, once you read the problem, you immediately think of the so-called the model, whether my problem could be fitted in this model where function of adjusted parameters is equal to adjusted observation. This kind of model is feasible for my problem or not. Obviously, you have to parallelly think of n u r. R is for redundancy, which is n minus u for observation equation case. Okay. Anyways, n is number of observation. You see the read the problem, you try to fill in number of parameters required. Sumit, the recording is on.
Yes, sir, it is on, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So that is the way we are approaching this problem. Anyways, so what we are trying here is we try to read the problem, try to see whether this could be fitting in such a model or not. If it is so, now if we know that now my problem is can be modeled in this fashion, immediately you have to think of the second step, which is how to linearize this model in this fashion. Or obviously derivation I'm not going to explain again because it is available in the previous video, which and make sure that you download the video. Those who have little difficulties in understanding, they need their videos down recording to be downloaded, because I'm not going to download any recording. It is available for 20 days in your MS Team. You can download it, you can rewatch it at the time of examination. Probably you will be having your examination on 7th December for GDP. The dates are just circulated to us, and we'll see how the exam mode will be there, whether you will be a written examination or objective or whatever it is. Anyways, at this time I just want to make one announcement. Sumit, that is your responsibility. I'll have to share two videos which we have requested from one faculty at from IIT Roorkee. His video is available on TS and EDMI. TS is total station and EDMI is electronic distance measuring instrument. So I'm going to circulate these two videos to you people. You have to listen to these videos, and tomorrow there will be a quiz for your laboratory, because laboratory we have to assess you for under certain marks that we have to give in. So for that we'll make a quiz. Obviously, the all previous lectures which I have given you on the geometric geodesy, on coordinate system, they are all part of, but these two videos are also essentially part of these lectures. So tomorrow there will be a quiz of 50 marks. Okay, so all of you would be given certain questions, subjective, objective, fill in the blanks, and so on, and you have to attempt these questions. And probably these questions will be purely on your discussion that we had in our laboratories, not beyond that. So obviously, all lectures, NPTEL first 5 to 6 lectures which you have done, starting from that, you have to revise that. Second, you have to read the geometrical geodesy part, which I have shared the slides also. And then the third one is obviously the TS education, which is given by Vipin, and some part of the videos which is shared as part of these two videos. Also, I'm going to share today that you could go through again. So you will be ready for quiz tomorrow. There will be an half an hour quiz, maybe 1 hour, based on the questions that we are preparing right now. So you will be given these quiz. So I mean, sorry, one quiz that is of 50 marks. That would be the end of the so-called session. Okay. So Sumit, just remind me in case if I forgot to share these two videos.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. Coming back to your discussion part, where you are trying to linearize this non-linear equation. If it is linear, there's no problem, but it is non-linear, you have to linearize it. Because see, in this problem our problem was not non-linear, it is available as linear. So there was no need to linearize it. We simply have formed this v is equal to ax minus l in the matrix form. Please remember this, you have to form in the terms of matrix form. Now, once you are available with this, what is V, what is A, what is X, what is L, apart from this, you have to form the matrix size. Confirm the matrix size also. What is the size of V? What is the size of A? What is the size of XA, etc. Then the third step would be obviously the error analysis. Because in this v is equal to ax minus l, the solution of delta xa, we all know that it is ATPA inverse ATPL. That's we have solved. There is no problem in repeating it. So second step is only this, which is solving for xa. First step is forming the model. The third step is error analysis, which is the topic of discussion for today. What do you mean by error analysis? Because if you remember this black box of least square adjustment, what is input? Input is LB sigma LB. That means raw observation is going to get the as input, as well as the variance covariance matrix of raw observation, which is a square matrix. Again repeating, because many of you would again say it is n cross 1. No, it is n cross n. Always remember, it is a square matrix and it is n cross n. See, these are the very small contents which I was facing as a challenge when I was having this course during my master way back in 2010. So I was having very confusion, just like you, because this is the first time I'm reading in 2000. So I was having also confusion that what will be the size of matrix. So that's why I'm focusing, emphasizing again and again that what would be the size of LB n cross 1, what will be the size of sigma LB n cross 1, what is the relation between P, Q, and sigma. We all need to know and this, and that we have again explained in your so-called error propagation, that they are all P is inversely proportional to Q inverse, sigma inverse, 1 by sigma naught square. This all relationship you need to understand, that it is very crucial to take you from this step towards this. So up to second step, you are only achieving this. That means by solving for delta xa, you will get xa as ATP inverse ATPL. You will get only the solution for parameter. But what is more important is this: how much error is there in the raw observation that has to be propagated to this. This error in this will be propagated to this. How much error is propagated, that would be given by this. Please remember this sigma, which is, we call it as VCV. It is nothing but the representation of variability. Somebody asks you, if tomorrow if I ask you you in Viva, in your examination, what is the physical understanding or meaning of VCV? If I ask you this question, what is the physical meaning of VCV, जिसको हम लोग शुद्ध हिंदी में बोलते हैं, तात्पर्य क्या है आपका इससे? Physical understanding of VCV is understanding the variability, uncertainty, isn't it? Variability, uncertainty, and then errors, which is another common name of these variability and error is. So VCV is something which we call it as error distribution. We need to know how much error is there in my parameters, and as well as relative error. Relative error in the sense, because this is a square matrix of n cross 1, this value, this value, this value, the representation are given in a manner which is represented for relative sense. Okay. Anyway, so today's topic is on error analysis. Okay. Any questions? Because if you do not have any questions, we can start right from this very step. But,
Sir, last time you given three questions, sir. Sir, the way you were giving the solution that was in matrix form, when I read the Mikhail and Gracie, the way they were giving the solution, I thought that was easier.
don't read the book.
Okay, sir.
In this uh, particular segment of observation equation, when we are explaining, don't follow the book, because simple reason is that you can only attempt the problems that are of 2 3 dimension. That means it is the problems which are having only matrix of 2 cross 2 or 1 cross 1 or 3 cross 3, not more than that. But what I'm explaining today will help you solve the problems which are having 36 cross 3600 kind of matrix, lakhs cross lakhs, which you can solve in MATLAB. If you do not follow this particular lectures, and if you only follow the book, you will never attempt these kind of problems, which is the future. Solving 2 cross 2, 3 cross 3 kind of matrix you have done in your 11th, probably in your BTech. Now the time is over. We are living in the age of artificial intelligence. Nothing is in 2 cross 2. Everything is in lakhs. Huge data set is available. How to work with that huge data set? See, understand this?
Yes, sir.
Better, because I know that many a times when we don't understand the part of the lecture, we immediately go back to the book, and the way book is, that's why I'm telling you, if the assignment which I'm giving you today, if you attempt it with the way book is, in the book they have solved it, I'm not going to accept your solutions. You have to do it in this sense that we are explaining here, because that's the best way and easy way you can move from solving easier problem to dealing with the complex problem. Okay. Okay. So for error analysis part, you have to understand and just quickly revise. If you have a linear function, y is equal to ax plus b, and if you have to find out sigma yy, bataiye. If you know the linear version is this, bataiye Sumit, how do you write sigma yy? Just go back to your error propagation basics. In case of linear models, how to write the error propagation distribution. Sumit,
यस सर, थोड़ा सा देख रहा सर, थोड़ा सा भूल गया हूँ, देख रहा हूँ सर।
अरे दीपावली में पटाखा ज्यादा छुड़ा लियो क्या?
नहीं सर, पटाखे एक भी नहीं जलाए सर।
कैसे भूल गए? ये देखना पड़ रहा है, इसका मतलब तुम पढ़ नहीं रहे हो बेटा।
नहीं सर, अभी का एक्चुअली पढ़ रहा था, पीछे का थोड़ा सा
ये
रिवाइज नहीं किया।
ये तुम्हारे माइंड में एकदम होना चाहिए, जैसे हमने पूछा वैसे ही बताना चाहिए।
So you're talking about that Jacobian one, sir, J sigma XX and J transpose one.
तुम सोचो, तुम बताओ।
Yes sir, this will be only.
नो, रॉन्ग। एनीवन एल्स हु कैन गिव द राइट आंसर?
सर ए स्क्वायर।
सर
हाँ, अरे बहुत लोग बोल रहे हैं, अरे वाह क्या बात है, बताइए बताइए, बोलो बोलो, कौन बोल रहा था? प्रवीण, प्रवीण बोल रहे थे।
सर
हाँ, कौन? नाम बताओ, नाम लो, हमें दिख नहीं रहा है। हु इज स्पीकिंग? बोलो तो भाई।
सर यशवर्धन।
हाँ बोलिए, यशोवर्धन बोलिए।
सर ए वेरिएंस कोवेरिएंस एक्स एक्स ए ट्रांसपोज।
ए
वेरिएंस कोवेरिएंस एक्स एक्स वेरिएंस कोवेरिएंस मैट्रिक्स एक्स एक्स।
ओके ओके, आई गेट इट। हाँ, सिग्मा एक्स एक्स बोलिए, इसको आप सिग्मा बोलिए, सिग्मा एक्स एक्स।
यस
ए
यस ए ट्रांसपोज।
अब देखिए सुमित, थोड़ा सा ध्यान से पढ़ाई करिए आप जो है
Yes sir.
पढ़ाई ध्यान से नहीं कर रहे। लीनियर मॉडल है, जैकोबियन क्यों आएगा? आई
Yes sir.
अंडरस्टैंड, जैकोबियन इज द
For non-linear.
for non-linear, but it can also be applied in linear version, because you know what are the component, because it is simply the partial derivative with respect to the so-called the variables. But it
Matrix.
ultimately, once you take the partial derivative for linear model, it will again come as a, isn't it? That's why it is written as a. For non-linear model, where v is equal to fx, sigma yy is nothing but Jacobian sigma xx Jacobian transpose. And you know that these Jacobian is nothing but, in this column, number of variable, in this rows, functions, they are del f by del x. तो जितने वेरिएबल हैं वो यहाँ जाएंगे, जितने फंक्शन है वो यहाँ जाएंगे। तो I is equal to 1 to n, and this is a j, so j is equal to 1 to n. That's it. Okay. So why I made this little background, because this error analysis needs these background. Okay, so let us start with this. Now everybody is very clear. Let us just start this discussion on error distribution. Okay, so we have this XA is as ATPA inverse ATPL. We know that, isn't it? This is ATPA is called as N, ATPL is called as U, so it is called as XAZ. If you find the Gracie's book, in this Gracie book, it is called as normal equations. And how it is written is NX plus U is equal to 0. This is from Gracie book. But this version is written in this form, in the matrix form, because if you write like that, X is equal to minus U, then N, then X would become N inverse. So it is only how you are using the different uh, component. You can take different component minus plus sign, and you can change the reverse it out. There is no problem. Anyways, just to correlate with if you are following the book, but do not follow the book. Only use the lecture. That's enough. The more you will solve the problems, the more you will get accustomed to the nomenclature. Okay. So this is xa is equal to n inverse u. What is the component of n? N is a, p, a. What is component u? A, p, l. Now what you need to do? You need to explain or give us a solution for what is sigma xa xa. So now you have a function which is this manner. Now you have to give us what is sigma xa xa. So if it is a linear function or if it is a non-linear function, whatever it is, you understand and learn from it and try to solve for sigma xa xa. How you can do it? You just need to find it that xa depends on which of the variable, because rest could be constant alpha or a, and there would be only one value which is variable. And in this case, you need to understand what is variable. If you can understand like this, then sigma xa is very easy. A transpose, sorry, alpha, I'll use alpha sigma that unknown, whatever alpha transpose, not unknown, the dependency of xa on a variable, because rest could be constant. You know, a is constant, p is constant, a is constant, and so on. You can think in that manner and then tell us what is this sigma l. Just take your time. In case you want a repetition from my side, I can repeat it again. Just let me know. आलोक बताइए।
सर नहीं पता चल रहा है।
नहीं पता चल रहा है?
हम्म।
सोचिए थोड़ा सा, एक बार दिमाग लगाइए। क्योंकि जब हम बताएंगे तो बहुत इजी लगेगा, अरे तो बहुत आसान था, कैसे हो गया।
हेलो सर,
हाँ
बार बार मेरी क्लास लीव हो जा रही है, पता नहीं क्यों, डेटा इशू है या फिर इसका है सर। ऑन ऑफ किए मोबाइल फिर भी वही इशू हो रहा है सर।
क्या समस्या है भाई इनको?
हेलो सर,
हाँ हेलो।
सर वॉइस आ रही है सर? हेलो
हाँ आ रही है, आ रही है।
सर, कह रहे हैं सर बार बार मीटिंग लीव हो जा रही है सर।
हाँ तो बार बार ज्वाइन कर लीजिए, अगर आपका नेटवर्क वीक है तो आपको दोबारा ज्वाइन करना पड़ेगा ना।
ओके सर, मुझे लगा सर कोई नेटवर्क इशू के साथ साथ सर मुझे लगा शायद मोबाइल में भी कोई इशू है, हैंग करने लगा था, तो सर मैंने ऑफ कर दिया, ऑन किया फिर से।
कोई नहीं, ठीक।
सर स्क्रीन भी
चलिए कोई बात नहीं, इन केस आप नहीं पिक कर पा रहे हैं तो देखिए यू को क्या लिखते हैं। इज इट क्लियर टू एवरीवन? अगर इसमें किसी को इश्यू हो तो बताइए। दिस x इज इक्वल टू n इनवर्स u में u क्या है? ATPL। ओके, अब अगर इस a को देखा जाए ये कांस्टेंट, p को देखा जाए ये कांस्टेंट। क्यों? क्योंकि दे आर सिंपली दी, व्हाट इज a? अगर आप a को देखें तो a क्या है? a है del f बाई del x से एट x इज इक्वल टू x नॉट। तो ये तो फंक्शन का डेरिवेटिव और डेरिवेटिव को एक वैल्यू दे देगी, तो दिस इज कांस्टेंट। वेट can neither be propagated nor be given, they have simply representation of values। यहाँ वैल्यू होगी, यहाँ वैल्यू लिखा होगा, यहाँ वैल्यूज लिखी होगी, they are constant। but what is L? so U is equal to ATPA L, and now L is LB minus L naught। ATP LB minus, what is L naught? L naught is FX naught। after linearization you have taken this value। okay, so now you can again open it up। y is equal to ATP LB minus ATP FX naught। तो ये तो पूरा कांस्टेंट हो गया। this will become your a dash, this would become your x minus c is equal to u। so now it is a function of v, y is equal to ax plus minus b। इस टाइप का फंक्शन बना। I'm just explaining it with how this LB is, because LB is not constant, LB is having variations, because observables are variable in nature, they have the variation। okay, so don't think that I'm just representing x L by x, I'm just correlating it with y is equal to ax plus b kind of example। so this is your a dash, this is representing as x, and this is c। so now you'll write sigma uu as a, which is your this sigma LB A transpose, isn't it? Or if you do not have the, if you do not have the sigma value available to us, you can work with QUU, because it is a cofactor matrix, is also also be applied in the similar fashion if you do not have understanding about, or if you do not have the values for variance squarance matrix, so you will again write ATPA ATP sigma QLBLB in this case, because if you are working in QLBLB, so it will be written as QLBLB ATP transpose। you can go back to your error propagation slides to see this cofactor matrix propagation. It is same as with the VCV propagation. Okay. So now QUU is You can open it up. ATP. Now you need to tell me what is the value of QLBLB that we have to write here. यशोवर्धन बताइए. क्या हुआ भाई यशोवर्धन? आवाज नहीं आ रही है.
सर अभी सर सर अभी करना है.
कौन बताएगा?
सब P इनवर्स LB. हेलो.
हाँ बोलो बोलो.
सब P इनवर्स LB.
P इनवर्स LB क्यों?
सर वो मैंने सोचा सर कि
LB क्यों आएगा?
सर मेजर्ड वैल्यू को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है ना. LB सर वो सफिक्स में होगा, तो इसलिए बता रहे थे.
अच्छा ओके ओके. Right answer. Because we have given you in one of the cofactor matrix slides discussion, we have explained that this weight matrix inverse is giving indication about the variability. So that's why we can use the P inverse here directly. Now this will become AT, this will become identity. P inverse is identity. This P transpose and transpose ka transpose. This weight matrix is a square matrix and a diagonal matrix. So if you take transpose of it, it will again be same. So it is ATPA. So QUU is nothing but N. Those who couldn't understand how this P inverse is written for the QLBLB, they need to go back to error propagation slide. There I have explained it that if you know the weights, you can get the answer for QLBLB by taking the inverse of it. Okay. Now the QUU is N. Okay. XA is equal to N inverse U, isn't it? Now you know if you need to understand the variability in QXA, N, the component of N is ATPA. They are all constants. A is constant, P is constant, A is constant. What is U? We know that variability in U is estimated again. So how to write the QXA? QXA is written as N inverse QUU N inverse transpose. Let me just tell you once again that now we know XA is written as N inverse U. We know that N is constant. U is having variability, which we have just estimated. Now, if you have to write QXA, how it can be written? QXA is A, because this is alpha, alpha QUU alpha transpose that we have written. Okay. So what is QUU? N n inverse transpose. So this would become identity. QXA would become n inverse. When you take the transpose, it will again be n inverse. Okay. So you have got QUU, you have got QXA. Now what remains in terms of variability is QVV. That means the residual which you are identifying from V is equal to AX minus L. Because you could see here, V is equal to AXA minus L. L is having variability, X is also having variability. That means we would also be having some variability. That QVV could be solved by two manner. There is one approach, there is second approach. So let us go back and see first approach. We know that LA is equal to LB plus V. We know that we have written in case of FXA is equal to LA, we have represented LA by LB plus V. Now LB plus what is V? V is AXA minus L. Okay. LB plus AXA minus what is L? LB minus FX naught. Now LB and LB cancel out. This will become AXA minus or plus FX naught. Okay. So now LA is a function of AXA plus FX naught where variability is only with XA. So QLALA is A QXA A transpose. That would become A n inverse A transpose because QXA we just identify as n inverse. So we have also identified the variability in the adjusted observation. Now about the V. We know that V is written as LA minus LB. But when we write QVV, it is written as QLB minus QLALA. Why? Because errors in raw observation would be more compared to errors in adjusted observation. Why? Because adjustment is done to reduce the error. When the error is reduced, the values also get reduced. The raw, that means the variable in metrics or cofactor metrics of the raw observable would be having larger error values compared to adjusted observation values. And that's why QVV is QLBLB is P inverse minus QLALA is A n inverse A transpose. That is one way. That is the easiest way. But if you go back to basics and if you want to solve right from the very beginning, A is a function of QXA minus L. What is XA? We all know that A or simply let me just again write A is n inverse U minus L. What is U? U is ATPL minus L. You will say A n inverse ATP minus identity L, because if you take L common, so from here L would come out, but from here only L is there, so identity would be there. In the matrix, that's how you take the common from a function. Now this L is written as LB minus L naught or Fx naught. If you want to write as the previous version, if you write Fx naught. So now A n inverse A transpose P minus I multiplied by LP minus this whole alpha, let's say multiplied with L naught. This is constant. This is your big alpha. This is LB minus C for V. So now if you write QVV, it would be alpha QLB LB alpha transpose. What is alpha? You know what is alpha. What is alpha transpose? You know what is alpha transpose. What is QLP? P inverse. Now, what you need to do as first assignment, you have to reach this QVV same as this, which is P inverse A and inverse A transpose. This is your first assignment. You have to do in your sheets. Very one single sheet. That is one single sheet you have to attach and send me back. Because this, if you revise your basics on how to take the transpose, what is that? Again, I'm just revising you that A, B, C transpose is C transpose, B transpose, A transpose. These kind of formulas you have to again get back from your matrix basics. Then only you can solve it out. But it's very easy. In 7 to 8 steps, you will get the solution.
Sir,
But you have to, yes.
sir, please, what you have given in assignment, please repeat that, sir.
This step is clear.
Yes, sir. Last one is clear.
So you have to solve. You have to open alpha. You have to open alpha transpose, multiply with P inverse in this fashion, alpha P inverse alpha transpose, and reach to this QVV, which is this. This is the solution. This is the final answer. You have to achieve from second. I have told you na Q. There are two ways to reach to QVV. The first way is very easy. You get the solution from this. This is the first step. And this is the second step. That is the classical approach. That's how we were doing from all. So you have to open it up alpha. You know alpha. What is alpha? Alpha is, this is your alpha. You put alpha here, alpha transpose here, open the alpha transpose, multiply, rearrange, use the basic matrix concept and achieve this. That's your first assignment. Any doubt till now? Any questions? Otherwise, I'm going to switch to different problems that we have to commit here. What is the relation between sigma and Q? Anybody? You must know what is sigma. Sigma is VCV. It is cofactor matrix or relative variance covariance matrix. So relation is very easy. It is, and what is sigma naught? It is reference variance, generally taken as 1, but you may take a value also that is based on your experience. That's no problem. Is it okay? Should we move to problems? If you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll take one more example to make you understand how to use this approach.
सर एक बार जो प्रोसेस है सर, हमें जब क्वेश्चंस में अप्लाई करेंगे सर, उसे एक ब्रीफ में समराइज कर देंगे क्या?
बिल्कुल, क्यों नहीं करेंगे, हमारा काम है ये करना। चलिए समरी बता देते हैं आपको। चले स्टार्ट करें समरी।
यस सर।
Okay, so suppose I have given you one problem. Okay, so problem is given. Now what you'll do, you will read the problem and try to understand, and in your mind you try to frame all possible mathematical model. All possible, that's the requirement, primary requirement. Okay, I'll just highlight it with red, that this is your first step, that you read the problem and you, in your back of your mind, you think of all the possible math models. Obviously, if I say what would be the prerequisite, sorry, what would be the prerequisite. So obviously the prerequisite of any problem is to form what is, how much n is there, what would be the u would be there, what would be the redundancy. How much redundancy is there in the system. Okay. So this is the prerequisite. Then the second step is you think of all possible mathematical models. Once you decide that these are the possible maths model are available, you write all of them in this form. First, you try to see it is a non-linear version is this, but in your case, if you understand that your all mathematical models could be written in linear version, then the linear version should be this only. It could be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, whatever models that are coming to your mind, but they should fit in the criteria of this. Fxa is equal to La. V is equal to Ax minus L. That's how they would be written. Please remember this very clearly. You cannot write any model which has this kind of understanding. This is not allowed. It's clearly observable on the right hand side is equal to function of parameter on the left hand side. Okay. This is your second step. Now, if you are able to write this step very clearly, obviously the solution is and all associated then this is your next step where you'll talk about the error. Okay. There's another final step where you will compute the VTPV and you try to see whether I plus 1 is lesser than VTPV of I step. Why? Because you are converging. Converging in the sense the least square works in iterative manner. So every time the function, what is phi? Phi we have no VTPV that we have in least square estimation. This is the function which is going to be minimized. So you'll see that I plus 1 iteration has a minimum value than I iteration. When this value or the difference between these two values are certain than minimum, or in your numerical soft computing, you have CBNST, which we talk about in old fashioned language. You see that this iteration, if it is XA plus K plus 1 iteration, is minimum than, or this difference is very less, near about zero, then we stop the iteration. These kind of convergence criteria are there. Sumit, is it okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Still, if you anyone can ask question, I'm open to give the solution. Otherwise, I'm taking the problem because the more you solve the problem, that would give you much more confidence than anything else. Because everything here is all about how you are forming A, how do you write P, how do you write L, how do you write LB, how do you write LB minus L naught. What everything is all about these individual matrices. If they are properly prepared, rest is cakewalk. Okay, so let me just for the timing, I'm just stop presenting. Let me just see the problem image, which is I'm going to show. is this problem? Sumit, I have shared one image. Is it available on the Teams? Please see.
Yes, sir.
So everybody, please open that image. Now we are trying to solve one of the biggest problem of civil engineering by least square, which is very easy, very one of the easiest way which you can attempt. Now, in one of the basic problem of the civil engineering is when you start any construction work or any new project, what you need to do, you need to find a contour map of that whole terrain where you are going to work. And the contour maps are only prepared if you know the heights of different points in that terrain. This process of giving this height values to different points with respect to certain benchmark is known as leveling. In leveling, what you can do, you need to so-called you know uh, transfer the height from the benchmark to certain points. As you can see in this figure which you are having, all of you must have opened up this image, which is level net. The H A, which is A point from A to B, A, B to C, C to D, then D to B, D to A, all kind of arrows are marked. This HA is written as 0.000 meters. That means the height of A is benchmark, which is known as 0. They are known, it is the height of H is known. From A to B, you have used certain level instrument and you got the difference between A to B, and this height difference measurement is marked as HAB. Similarly, from B to C, you have HBC. From C to D, you have HDC. From A to D, you have HDA, or and so on. So that's how you have got 6 different measurements, level difference measurement. Points are written in tabular form. First point, from A to C, that means from A to C, the arrow represents C is on higher side and A is on lower side, and this arrow demarcation is applicable to all. Okay, so for A to C, the observed elevation is 6.16. This is observations. Okay, section length is 4 kilometers. Second observation, A to D, observed elevation is 12.57. The length is 2 kilometers. Third is C to D, which is observed elevation 6.41. Section length is 2 kilometers. Fourth is level difference A to B, observed elevation difference 1.09. Fifth one is B to D, observed elevation difference 11.58. Section length 2 kilometer. And the sixth one is also given. Now objective is what you have to find out. Now this is all the problem. What do you have to find out? Find out the height of B, height of C, height of D. This is your unknowns. Just look at this image. If you have any confusion, that means you could not understand the problem, you do not know what these values represents, then you can ask the question. Otherwise, I'm not going to solve it. I have shown you the summary. You know the steps. You have to find the solution for HB, HC, and HD, the height of these 3 points. And uh, you can consider this as a small surprise quiz, and I'm giving you 15 minutes because for some it is a cakewalk. They can do it in 5 minutes because it's very easy. But for some, it is not that much easy. You have to give me the matrices because I'm not seeking for solution. I do not want values. I want the matrices. What would be the matrix that you are going to form? What is the size of that? What would be the size of cofactor matrices for error analysis? That all you have to give me. Solution you can do, it's very easy. You can open MATLAB. In the workspace, you can simply input the matrix as you want, and you can get the solution. So this is the problem. If anybody wants to, uh, you know, um, wants me to re-explain this problem, they can request. I can do it again, no problem. Summary is again written here for those who want to make sure that how to start. Now, because if you do not attempt this problem, then there is no hope for you. Uh, Only solving such kind of problem will give you confidence. Yes, you can attempt the problem. हाँ भाई, किसी ने कुछ अटेम्प्ट किया, सोल्यूशन आया कुछ? शिवम?
यस सर।
बताइए।
सर सबसे पहले सर 3 नेट्स में डिवाइड हो जाएगा सर, ये ADC और ADB और CDB। उसके बाद सर जो भी आपका सर,
मुझे वी का साइज बताइए।
किसका सर?
वी का कैपिटल वी का।
हाँ सर, वहां तक नहीं होती सर अभी।
तो क्या कर रहे होती देर से 15 मिनट में? सुधीर, आप बताइए।
सर अभी नहीं आ पा रहा है मुझे, स्टार्ट करा दूं?
अभिजीत?
सर नहीं हुआ।
हैं?
सर नहीं हुआ।
क्यों? भाई कैसे काम चलेगा? नहीं हुआ कह देना से काम कैसे चलेगा? राहुल?
यस सर।
बताइए।
सर नहीं हो पा रहा है।
नहीं हो पा रहा है, फिर कैसे काम चलेगा? इतना सब पढ़ाना बेकार हो गया। एग्जाम में आएगा तो क्या लिखेंगे? नहीं हो पा रहा है, यही लिख देंगे। क्यों भाई, जवाब दीजिए। सुमित?
सर वी का साइज तो 3x1 का होगा।
किसका?
वी का।
नहीं, गलत।
सर फर्स्ट स्टेप में जो किया है सर, पहले अननोन्स निकाला सर, 3 अननोन्स है उसमें, HP HD। देन सर नंबर ऑफ ऑब्जर्वेशन में 6 नंबर ऑफ ऑब्जर्वेशन है, तो सर रिडंडेंसी 3 हो जाएगी सर।
रिडंडेंसी नहीं पूछ रहा हूं मैं वी पूछ रहा हूँ। वी, कैपिटल वी। व्हाट इज कैपिटल वी? कैपिटल वी इज रेजिडुअल मैट्रिक्स।
तो सर
रेजिडुअल
अगर
मैट्रिक्स का साइज क्या होता है?
सर n×1 का होता है।
तो n क्रॉस n की वैल्यू कितनी है?
सर 3×3
वैल्यू
सर।
n की वैल्यू,
3
n की वैल्यू।
सर n तो 6 है सर।
तो फिर v का साइज वही होगा जो n का साइज होगा, तो अलग क्यों कर दे रहे हो उसको?
ओके सर, तो सर 6×1 हो जाएगा फिर। सर फिर उसके बाद सर HB एडजस्टेड और HC एडजस्टेड और HD एडजस्ट का इक्वेशन सब लिखा। सर फिर HD
a का साइज
एडजस्टेड
बताओ।
में
a का साइज बताओ हमें, वो ना बताओ कैसे लिखा, हमें a का साइज बताओ, उससे पता चलेगा तुम क्या लिख रहे हो।
सर A का साइज 6x2 का हो जाएगा ना सर?
2 क्यों?
सर HD को तो हम HB और HC के टर्म्स में लिख लेंगे, तो 2 ही बचेंगे सर एडजस्टेड
क्यों
में।
क्यों क्यों? HD को कैसे तुम HC और HB के टर्म में लिख लोगे, जरा मैं भी समझूं।
सर ये जो वैल्यूज ऑब्जर्वेशन में दी गई है, तो उसमें अगर हम जो थर्ड
क्या ऑब्जर्वेशन जो दी गई है वो कोई रिलेशन बना रही है?
सर अगर हम उसको एडजस्टेड के फॉर्म में लिखें कि HD एडजस्टेड माइनस HC एडजस्टेड इज इक्वल्स टू 6.41, जैसे थर्ड ऑब्जर्वेशन है।
एग्जैक्टली, दिस इज व्हाट आई एम सेइंग टू से। अगर आप ऐसे लिखते हैं तो इक्वलिटी लगा ही नहीं सकते। आप इक्वलिटी लगा सकते हैं क्या आप?
नो सर।
क्यों? अच्छा चलिए ये बता दीजिए क्यों नहीं लगा सकते। मतलब मैंने तो पूछ लिया नो, आपने जवाब दे दिया नो, लेकिन
सर
क्यों नहीं लगा सकते?
क्योंकि सर ये अभी ऑब्जर्व वैल्यूज हैं सर।
एग्जैक्टली, वेरी गुड। चलिए कोई बात नहीं, आप अटेम्प्ट कर रहे हैं, अच्छी बात है। क्योंकि ये रिलेशनशिप तभी वैलिड है जब दोनों तरफ सिर्फ एडजस्टेड 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 लिखा हो।
यस सर।
अगर जरा भी रिलेशनशिप में एक वैल्यू आती है जो कि ऑब्जर्वेशन है, तो वो रिलेशनशिप होल्ड ही नहीं करेगा। इसका मतलब वो रिलेशन कभी बन नहीं सकता है।
यस सर।
और जब वो रिलेशन बन नहीं सकता है तो इसका मतलब ए का साइज हो जाएगा 6x3। क्यों? एक्स का साइज हो जाएगा 3x1। मतलब तीनों को आपको सिस्टम में एंट्री देनी पड़ेगी। यू कैन नॉट चूज द अल्टरनेट मैनर।
यस सर।
अब मुझे जरा ए की वैल्यूज बताइए।
सर ए की वैल्यू सर फर्स्ट रो में सर 100 होगा, फिर सेकंड रो में सर 010 होगा, और सर थर्ड रो में 001 होगा, एंड सर फोर्थ रो में
बना लो बना लो। तुमने भी बनाया ही नहीं होगा क्योंकि तुम पहले ही तुमने v को 3 बोल दिया था। तुम कैसे बना लोगे 6 का?
यस सर।
अरे बेटा, मैं 8 साल से ये सब्जेक्ट पढ़ा रहा हूँ, तो मुझे पता है कि तुम जो बोलोगे उसके हिसाब से तुमने क्या लिखा होगा। बना लो पहले, फिर बताओ। अब तो काफी आइडिया मिल गया राहुल और अभिजीत, जो बोल रहे थे हो नहीं पाएगा, तो अब तो कुछ करिए। क्यों अभिजीत एंड राहुल, बताइए, जवाब दीजिए।
यस सर।
क्या हो? अब भी नहीं हो पाएगा? तुम लोग सिर्फ मोबाइल में ईयरफोन लगा के सुनते हो। ये जहां अभिजीत आप बैठे हैं वहां पे पढ़ाई हो सकती है? संभव है ऐसा कि वहां पे पढ़ाई हो जाए? इतना नॉइज है वहां पर।
नहीं सर, वो काम थोड़ा पेंट चल रहा है ना।
तो ऐसी जगह क्यों बैठे हैं आप? क्लास कर रहे हैं कि मजाक कर रहे हैं?
नहीं सर, घर पे पूरा पेंट चल रहा है।
फिर तो छत पे बैठ के पढ़ो। ऐसी जगह तो पढ़ाई नहीं हो पाएगी जहाँ इतना नॉइज चल रहा है। जैसे आप बैठे हैं वहां पर, इसका मतलब आप फॉर्मेलिटी कर रहे हैं, अटेंडेंस दे रहे हैं बस। भगत,
यस सर।
आपसे भी नहीं हो पा रहा होगा।
यस सर।
एंड सेमेस्टर में फीस पूरी जमा हो जाएगी। सब्जेक्ट में अगर थोड़ा सा भी समस्या हो गई तो क्या करोगे फिर आगे हैं? क्योंकि सब्जेक्ट तो अब ये बढ़ ही रहा है, इसका लेवल अप ही जाएगा। ये कुछ और पढ़ रहे हैं क्या आप? पीछे आपके कुछ और सब्जेक्ट चल रहा है? कोचिंग
No,
वोचिंग की तैयारी
sir.
कर रहे हो क्या?
No, sir. My brother is doing his job, so we are in the center.
ओके, चलिए भाई, आलोक आप बताइए, कुछ आगे बढ़ा आपसे? आलोक, आर यू अवेलेबल?
Sir, he is reconnecting. Actually, network issue था तो message me that he is reconnecting.
चलो अब तुम बताओ सुमित, आगे बढ़ो, तुमने तो समय ले लिया अपना, वैल्यूज बताओ।
सर वही इक्वेशन नहीं बन पा रही सर। अब अगर हम जो ऑब्जर्व वैल्यूज हैं क्या उसको इस तरीके से लिख सकते हैं सर, एच सी माइनस एच ए इज इक्वल टू 6.16 सर, क्योंकि दोनों तरफ ऑब्जर्व वैल्यू रहेगी तो क्या उससे लिख सकते हैं, उससे इक्वेशन बना सकते हैं हम?
कौन सी दोनों तरफ कौन सी ऑब्जर्व वैल्यू रहेगी? मैं समझा नहीं, दोनों तरफ कैसे रहेगी?
सर मतलब कि डायरेक्टली अगर हम लिखें सर एच सी माइनस एच ए इज इक्वल टू 6.16 जो दोनों के बीच की हाइट का डिफरेंस, तो विल इट बी ओके?
क्यों क्यों दिक्कत क्या होगी इसमें? मैं दोनों तरफ ऑब्जर्व कहाँ है, मुझे वो समझ नहीं आया, दोनों तरफ कहाँ पे ऑब्जर्व है?
यस सर, अभी सर इक्वेशन नहीं बन पाई सर अभी।
आलोक आगे वापस ज्वाइन किया आलोक ने, देखिए।
हाँ सर, ही इज देयर।
हेलो
भाई हाँ बताइए, कैसे कराए जाएंगे इसको?
सर, इक्वेशन हम भी नहीं बना पा रहे हैं, कैसे मतलब?
अरे तो बहुत सरल था प्रॉब्लम, इतना कठिन नहीं था।
सर रिलेशन क्या इसमें जो गिवन डेटा है सर उसके हिसाब से एडजस्टेड वैल्यू मतलब क्या बना है?
चलो देखो, सभी लोग म्यूट करो। देखो, सबसे पहले कोई भी प्रॉब्लम आपको मिली, जैसे यही प्रॉब्लम मिल गई, नाउ व्हाट यू हैव टू डू, यू हैव टू फर्स्ट थिंक नंबर ऑफ ऑब्जर्वेशन। आप ऐसे लिखिए, नंबर ऑफ ऑब्जर्वेशन कितने हैं? आपने देखा टेबल में 6 ऑब्जर्वेशन दिए हैं। वो ऑब्जर्वेशन क्या है? हाइट ऑब्जर्वेशन, हाइट डिफरेंस ऑब्जर्वेशन। एनी नोन वैल्यू विदाउट एरर इज गिवन। नोन वैल्यू विदाउट एरर का मतलब ये होता है कि वो वैल्यू में एरर नहीं है, दैट इज कंसीडर्ड एज फिक्स्ड। तो वो क्या है? एच ए की वैल्यू, वो क्या है? 0.00 मीटर, इसमें कोई एरर नहीं है, दिस इज फिक्स्ड। हाइट ऑफ ए, और इसको दूसरी भाषा में ऐसे भी लिख सकते हैं, एडजस्टेड। या फिर अगर कैपिटल्स में मैंने रिप्रेजेंट किया, आई डोंट नो द फिगर में कैसे रिप्रेजेंटेशन हुआ है, इफ इट इज एच ए एडजस्टेड, ये वैल्यू आपकी विदाउट एरर आपको पता है। अब आपके पास सेकेंड स्टेप आता है, जैसे ये तो फर्स्ट स्टेप हो गया, इसी में फर्स्ट स्टेप में ही आपने x के बारे में चर्चा कर ली, जिस पैरामीटर, यानी कि पैरामीटर्स, एडजस्टेड पैरामीटर आपको कितने चाहिए? तो आपके 3 हैं। क्यों? एच एच बी, एच सी, एच डी। मेरे सामने प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, मुझे चूंकि पता है कि कैसे उसको आपको करना है, इसलिए मैं वो वैल्यूज लिखता चला जा रहा हूँ। नाउ दिस इज द फर्स्ट स्टेप। आपको ये पता चल गया n की वैल्यूज क्या है 6, x की वैल्यू क्या है 3, तो यानी कि नंबर ऑफ ऑब्जर्वेबल में आप यहाँ पर xa को रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं u से। u की वैल्यू क्या है? तो आपको पता चल गया n 6 है, u 3 है, और तो कुछ जरूरत नहीं। तो आपको जैसे ही n पता चला, आपको तुरंत पता होना चाहिए v की वैल्यू, v का साइज भी n क्रॉस 1 है, lb का साइज n क्रॉस 1 है, XA का साइज 3 क्रॉस 1 है। ये सब आपको माइंड में तुरंत बन जाना चाहिए, दैट दिस is the size of residual matrix, this is the side of LB, this is the side of XA. ठीक है। ए बाय डिफॉल्ट आपका जो ए का साइज है वो n क्रॉस u होता है, तो सीधे आपको पता चल गया x ए मेरा 6 क्रॉस 3 बनेगा। ऐसे आपको ऑब्जर्वेशन इक्वेशन के सेकेंड स्टेप पे चलना है। आपको ये सारी मैट्रिसेस की वैल्यू पता चल जाएंगी। उससे आसानी क्या होती है, आप जरा भी डेविएट नहीं हो पाएंगे। नाउ दिस इज अ ट्रिक। जनरली ये स्टेप की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, बट दिस इज अ ट्रिक। ट्रिक क्यों? क्योंकि आपको ये पता है कि हमें मॉडल कैसे बनाना है। अब कहेंगे कि मैथमेटिकल मॉडल क्या हो सकता है इस प्रॉब्लम का, तो मैथमेटिकल मॉडल कैसा होना चाहिए? ऐसा होना चाहिए। आपकी प्रॉब्लम में क्या है? हाइट डिफरेंस की चर्चा की। हाइट डिफरेंस मतलब 2 पॉइंट के बीच डिफरेंस। तो आपको वैल्यू क्या दी गई है? एल ए की अगर मैं बात करूं तो एल ए दिया गया है HAB, ये वैल्यू दी गई है। एल ए इज नथिंग बट LB प्लस V। तो LB क्या पहली वैल्यू क्या दी गई है? HAB, तो ये हो जाएगा VAB। भाई LB 6 दिए गए तो 6 बार आप लिखेंगे। पहले लिखेंगे HB, पहले टेबल से लिखेंगे हाइट डिफरेंस HAB प्लस residual, that becomes this whole is part of adjusted. ठीक है। On the left hand side you have function of XA. Now you know that this problem cannot be a non-linear problem because it's a simple height difference between 2 points. But in order to hold this equality आपको वैल्यू क्या लिखनी है? HAB यानी कि HB adjusted minus HA adjusted। ये पहली इक्वेशन हो गई। ये इक्वालिटी होल्ड करने के लिए एडजस्टेड लगाया है। Similarly, all 6 equation will be written in similar fashion. ठीक है। जब ये लिख जाएंगे इक्वेशन तो ऑटोमेटिकली आपका जो v वाला पार्ट है वो आप यहीं रोक लेंगे, जो कि 6 टाइम आएगा। 1 2 6 इस तरह से सारी इक्वेशन बनेंगी। आप वो इक्वेशन बना सकते हैं, देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम। लास्ट इक्वेशन जो भी आएगा VCD की अगर बात की तो VCD लास्ट में लिख जाएगा इस तरह से। तो V is 6 cross 1. All these V's would be written as VI2 6, V1 to V6। जो भी आपके ऑब्जर्वेशन है उसी पैटर्न में, जो भी टेबल दिए उसी पैटर्न इज इक्वल टू ए आपका पता है 6 क्रॉस 3 है, और HB एडजस्टेड, HC एडजस्टेड, HD एडजस्टेड, ये आपका X बन जाएगा। और V is equal to AX minus L होता है, तो let me just write the minus। यहाँ वैल्यूज क्या आएंगी? अगर पहली टेबल की बात की जाए तो HA तो सीधे 0 हो जाएगा, क्योंकि ये विदाउट एरर पता है आपको 0 में तो कोई एरर है नहीं, बिकॉज इज बेंचमार्क इज नोन विदाउट एरर, तो ये 0 हो जाएगा। तो कैसे वैल्यू लिखेंगे? 1 0 0। हो सकता है दूसरी इक्वेशन AC की हो तो वो फिर हो जाएगा 0 1 0। थर्ड इक्वेशन हो सकता है AD की हो तो हो जाएगा 0 0 1। लेकिन उसके बाद की इक्वेशन में BC CD और DA आया, DB आया है, उस जगह पे एक कोई माइनस होगा, एक कोई 1 होगा। इसी तरीके से ऐसे भी हो सकता है। एंड जो बच रहा होगा, जो बच रहा हो उसको लिख लो, कौन सा बच रहा है? फर्स्ट सेकेंड ना, तो +1 1। ठीक है। यहाँ वैल्यूज क्या आ जाएंगी आप देख रहे होंगे, यही वो रॉ ऑब्जर्वेशन है जो एज इट इज यहाँ पुट अप हो जाए। 6.16 से लेकर के जो भी लास्ट वैल्यूज है 6। नाउ दिस इक्वेशन इज V is equal to AXA minus L। व्हाट इज द सॉल्यूशन? सॉल्यूशन इज ATPA inverse ATPL। नाउ व्हाट इज P? P is obviously weight matrix। अगर आपको कुछ नहीं पता है तो आप आइडेंटिटी कंसीडर करिए। अगर आपको कोई रिलेशन पता है that you know that these observation are given weighted in certain fashion, तो आप वो वैल्यूज पुट अप कर दीजिए रिलेटिव। अगर कुछ नहीं पता तो आप सिंपली आइडेंटिटी मान के assumption लेके कर सकते हैं। देन XA would be 3 क्रॉस 1, आपको वैल्यू मिल जाएगी। अगर ये प्रॉब्लम नॉन लीनियर होती, मान लीजिए किसी भी तरीके, क्योंकि नॉन लीनियर प्रॉब्लम भी मैं आपको एक दूंगा, तो ये एक्स से की वैल्यू अगले इटरेशन के लिए एक्स नॉट बनती, जैसे आपने फंक्शन की वैल्यू डालते हैं ना एफ एक्स नॉट, तो जब इटरेशन अगला जाएगा यानी कि k प्लस वन की चर्चा होगी, तो k प्लस वन में जो k की एक्स है वो k प्लस वन के लिए एक्स नॉट बनेगा, फिर एक नया v आएगा, फिर एक नया v क्यों अपडेट होगा, क्योंकि v इज एल ए माइनस एल बी, तो v भी एस्टिमेट हो रहा है, क्योंकि जब आप एक नया x से डालेंगे तो जैसे ही इस सिस्टम में आपने नया x से इनपुट किया, a आपका कांस्टेंट है, l आपको पता ही है, एक नया v मिलेगा, जब वो नया v मिल जाएगा तो नया la मिल जाएगा, जब नया la मिल जाएगा तो वो यहाँ पुट अप कर देंगे फिर से. So that's how in non-linear problem basically they are iterative, but this is not a non-linear problem, this is a very linear problem, there is no need for iteration, you'll simply get the solution. ना इसके बाद तो सब सारी वैल्यूज आपको पता ही है कि क्यू एक्स ए क्या होता है, क्यू वी वी क्या होता है, क्यू एल ए क्या होता है, दीज आर ऑल वैल्यूज आपको आपको पता है, उसके करस्पॉन्डिंग वैल्यूज आप कंप्यूट कर सकते हैं. व्हाई? बिकॉज यू नो व्हाट इज ए, यू नो व्हाट इज पी, यू नो व्हाट इज ए, यू नो व्हाट इज एल, यू एवरीथिंग इज अवेयर. एनी डाउट? आप बताइए. आलोक, आप कहते नहीं बन पा रहा, बताइए.
नहीं सर, क्लियर है.
अभिजीत एंड राहुल.
यस सर.
हाँ भाई बताइए, अब इसमें क्या क्या दिक्कत थी जो आप नहीं कर पा रहे थे? बहुत सिंपल था. अब आप इसको अटेम्प्ट करिए, इसकी वैल्यूज मुझे फाइनल बताइएगा, एक्स ए की वैल्यू क्या आई. अभी तो मैंने सिंपली आपको स्ट्रक्चर बता दिया, दैट्स हाउ यू कैन अटेम्प्ट. सुधीर, इज इट ओके विद यू?
Yes, sir, I'm getting now.
Yeah. See, for those who are not attempting, then there must be some problem. But if you start attempting the problem, that means you start writing the problem in the matrix fashion or in terms of equation. Believe me, just by second or third attempt only, you will get the picture very clear that how to write v is equal to x minus l. Now, just like Sumit pointed out very clearly, because in the previous two problem I have made the two relationship between d1a is equal to d2a and d4a is equal to d2a plus d3a, these kind of relationship I have formed. So he also tried to form those relationship, just because I have explained in this manner in the previous two problem, but there are no observation in these sites in addition to it. But what he was trying to form, he was trying to form dA minus dA, or he is trying to form dHdA is equal to HA plus 6.16. But this is observation, so this equality cannot hold. Here we are only talking about the adjusted values. So if you are not sure whether this coming relationship or the relationship which we are trying to form, to make sure that we reduce the number of parameters to make solution little less complicated, that only will possible if you do not use any values. The moment your equation have values, that means your purpose is not solved, you just have to excuse it. Sumit, are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So you were right in forming the max, but you were less brave in terms of writing it completely. But believe me, it's very easy. The moment you understand the problem, write the problem in mathematical manner in terms of equation, which is just this. You have to write this equation in this fashion. That's it. If you try to write the equation in this manner, half of the job is done. No need to worry about anything else. So derivation is important. What you need to do, you need to derive these equations, which I have done. I mean, I'm just scrolling up for a moment. I have explained this in your last class. I have opened up everything. I have written LA as LB plus V. I have written XA. I have taken linear expansion. Then this I have opened it everything. So I have done this. You also need to do it once. If you do not do it, then it is not possible that just by looking at the problem you immediately start writing. One of the student said, sir, we are trying to form the loops. That see, in the observation equation method you do not try to avoid the steps. The observation equation method says that you write LA is equal to fxa, or LA is equal to uh, v sorry v minus ax. So you always use all observation. So all observation will be part of observation equation solution. That means you cannot excuse any observation. All observation will go one by one. It's like just like a system is there. You are feeding one each observation one at a time. Every observation will go once, form equation. Another, form equation. Third, form equation. So as much as observation is available. If it is six equation without any question. Six observation, six equation. Seven observation, seven equation. You will only reduce or play with parameters. If there are three parameters and you have a chance to reduce it to by making certain relationship between two of the variables, you can do it. But if it is not, in this case only three is available, you cannot form any relationship. You have to use three directly. There is no issue. So I hope with this, now I'm going to share the assignment on your tab, on your team, sorry. And then probably you will attempt and submit by next week. And I'll also share the so-called, some steps which is required. And I also share today the 3 YouTube lectures, and they are explained in very normal language in Hindi sometimes, which you can follow and read for total station EDMI. Okay. And on our request, those IIT Kanpur staff, they have prepared these live demos, live videos, and it's very useful. The reason is very simple, because they are the one who have done several times such surveys in the field, which we have not done as a faculty, because staffs are much more you know uh, go to go in the case of such works. So they have done so much surveys that they are much more confident, and they will tell you very nitty gritties of these surveys. So I'm going to share those uh, YouTube lectures with you. You can go ahead, listen to it, and obviously that you can attempt a lot more questions in the quiz tomorrow. Okay, so any more questions today? If not, we will end this session. In this session, we will